One concern that a lot of people have was, she behaves, she acts a certain way when she has the e-collar. So how do I get away from that? I want to get away from the e-collar because she knows, she's starting to realize that the e-collar's on. So I'm going to go over that, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this, because it is a process. It's very simple, but it's very doable, very possible. Okay, number one, don't rely on the e-collar. So even if you have it on, even if it's in your hand, make it a habit to occasionally, okay, even if it's the most effective thing at the moment, put it in your pocket, have two hands on that leash, okay, and then work on your mechanics in that manner. Because what you are then telling your dog is, e-collar or no e-collar, whether I have something in my hands or not, because they pick up on that too, I will follow through. Dogs are opportunistic animals. They're going to take advantage of the situation if they're able to. They're just going to. There's no way around it. Okay, no amount of training is going to change that ever. So get with two hands and go, if we are going to go this way, this is the way we're going. I don't care if you want to go that way. We're going to go this way. If you want to go that way and I call you, I'm going to make you come back to me. If I call you, there's only one way this is going to end, and it's going to be with you coming to me, provided the dog understands. So the dog understands that now, and now we can go, all right, now let's be consistent whether we have this or not. Okay, even if I have it, I'm going to make it a habit to just be consistent anyway. Because here's what could happen. You could have it on, and maybe your battery runs out. Or you could have it on your dog, and you could have this ready, but maybe you forget to turn it on. Or whatever the case might be, the dog needs to understand that you're going to follow through every single time. Now, once we move past that, the other step number two is this, okay? To successfully fade away from the e-collar, okay, you have to follow these set of instructions. Okay, one, put it on every morning. Put the e-collar on her every single morning. You got to do it every morning. There's no way around it. If you only put it on when she needs it, if you only put it on when the dog needs it, when the dog's going to do a training session, forget it. The dog's going to learn that it is about the e-collar. Okay? Then because what happens is it becomes a uniform. You don't want the e-collar to become a uniform. You want it to be much more subtle than that. Just to give you an example, I wear a watch every day. Every morning I put it on. Okay, sometimes I even go to sleep with it, right? Because I don't even think about my watch. It's just always there. I don't know if you wear a watch or not, but if you do, okay, if you know somebody who does, you'll notice every morning that watch comes on. You don't even think about it. Okay, if it's not a watch, it's a phone. Every time, every morning, most people will grab their phone and they'll put it in their pocket. They don't even realize it, but it's always there. It's always there. The watch example, the watch is always there. Okay, when I need it, it just happens to be there. Just how it is. At night, I take it off. I don't think about my watch. When I need it, it's there, and then I go back to just how it is. It's just part of my daily routine. You want to put the e-collar on every morning if you want to fade away from it. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but the only way to fade away from it is to have her wear it for a long period of time, and I'll explain the rest here in a second. Put it on every morning, and then at night, take it off. Put it on every morning, take it off at night. Even if you don't need it. Even if the battery's dead, okay? Even if like you foresee yourself not using it, put it on every single morning. There's a method to that. There's a reason why we do that. What will happen is it will become so routine that she won't even pay attention. She won't even realize it. She won't even realize that it's on every morning the whole time. Just like I don't feel this coming on. Somebody who doesn't normally wear a watch, start putting a watch on them, they're going to know that they have something. It's going to bother them. They're going to realize that it's there. But after a period of time, what will happen is they won't even notice it. They'll become used to it. They'll become adjusted to it. Okay? They will adapt. Here's what you do next. Whether you use it or not, put it on every morning, take it off at night. Here's the next step. Keep doing that for at least 6 to 8 months. This is the part that really gets tricky. You want it to be such a routine behavior, not only for your dog, but also for you. Okay, to the point where you don't even think about it. Every morning, you just put it on, and then at nighttime, you take it off. Okay, 12 to 14 hours is the max amount. That's why you put it on in the morning. Usually, by the time you take it off at night, that's about 12 to 14 hours. So 12 to 14 hours is on, you take it off. Any longer than that, you don't want the dog to sleep with it on, because if it's on for longer than 12 to 14 hours, you're going to start to see pressure sores from the e-collar. So you don't want to risk that. Put it on in the morning, take it off at night, and then do that for the next 6 to 8 months. Now, why 6 to 8 months? It's very simple. Dogs create long-term habits, long-term memories when they do something repeatedly for about 6 to 8 months. There is some sort of research, some sort of data that backs that up. Okay. There's also experience and anecdotal accounts that support that concept, that idea. I've done it myself with my dogs, and I can tell you it absolutely works. 6 to 8 months. Such a habit for you and your dog that neither of you think about it. It just comes on, and it comes off at night. When you need it, you use it. Okay, make sure you use it consistently when you do need it, which you put it on, and this is on your neck or in your pocket whenever you have her out. It becomes another habit, right? Now, for people, it's about 25 to 30 days. If you do something for 25 to 30 days every single morning, every single day, by the 31st day, you will probably automatically do it without even realizing it. Okay, so the reason that we put the e-collar on for 6 to 8 months and reinforce everything we say, like if I say it, you have to do it. Okay, and the e-collar allows us to do that too. Okay, if we do that for 6 to 8 months, the dog will then create that long-term memory. It's like the equivalent of you doing something for 25 to 30 days. Because then after 6 to 8 months roughly, the idea is the dog will have done it so much and will not even be aware that the collar is on, just like a watch, that the dog will engage in the desired behavior whether the e-collar is on or not. Same thing like this. I wear a watch, and if you wear a watch consistently, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I give this example. What will happen sometimes, you forget to wear your watch, okay? And you're very aware that it's not even on. But what will happen is, a couple of hours later, you're going to do this. Okay, you're going to do this because it's such a strong habit, and it's always there when you need it, that even if you don't have it on, just out of a habit, you do this. And then you go, dang, that's right, I don't have my watch on. But what will happen next, even if you know the watch is not on, 2 hours later, maybe even an hour later, you're going to do the same thing. And you're going to go, the watch is not on. And then you're going to do this probably throughout the day, even though you know you don't have it on. Even though you actually are very aware that your watch is not on your wrist, you will still check the time. Okay, you will still go through the motions because it is such a strong ingrained habit to do it as though you have it on that you will keep doing it whether you like it or not. Okay, now here's what happens with dogs. The same exact thing, same exact process happens with them. E-collar is on, right, morning and then all the way to nighttime. You use it when you need it, and so it's there. You're always there to reinforce all those behaviors. Then what will happen is when that finally comes off, 6 to 8 months ideally, to keep that nice long reward or learning history. What happens is when it comes off, the idea is the dog will behave as though she has it on. You will say come, the dog will instantly come to you because you will have been so consistent for 6 to 8 months that when it does come off, it becomes a habit automatically. Okay, that's the key to fading away from it. Now, when you get to 6 to 8 months, what you do is you start to think to yourself, okay, it's about 6 to 8 months. What do I do now? How do I know? Do I just take it off? Here's what you do. If you go an entire week without having to use the e-collar, an entire week without maybe once, okay, that's about it. But if you go an entire week without having to use it, without having to push any of these buttons to reinforce a behavior, then you are ready to fade away from it. Once you get to that point, you're going to take it off, and you still have to follow through with your leash. Okay, you have to make sure that you follow through. Dogs are opportunistic animals. The moment they realize that they can get away with something, they're gonna do it every single time. That's every animal. That's your dog, that's my dog, that's the neighbor's dogs. Everybody's dogs are gonna do that. Some are more determined than others, but every one of them is gonna do that. So even when you fade away from the e-collar, you have to make sure that you follow through. Okay. Now, if you come to a point where you're like, crap, I think I need to use it again, she's starting to get sloppy again, no problem. You put it back on, put it on in the morning, take it off at night, and this time, you're consistent, and now you keep it on, same thing, for about 3 months or so, for about a month or 2 months, you keep that consistency. Okay, we are gonna remind the dog of that habit. And then once you haven't used it for an entire week because you haven't needed it, okay, you actually see the dog response. After about 3 months or so, take it off again. And you'll see you're constantly working on these habits that the dog doesn't even think about. Okay, that's the key. You don't want the dog to even think about it. It's just like second nature. You tell them to come, they come to you right away. You tell them to heel, they heel right away. The equivalent of me doing this, okay, constantly, right? It's the same thing. The dog will know the collar is not on. It will know it has nothing to do with the e-collar. It's just part of the routine now. But when you tell it to come, you always follow through. The dog now has to follow through. Okay, that's the key to fading away from the e-collar.